Yo, 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 what up, fellas and ladies? We're going to do 10.2 today, which is about area and perimeter of irregular figures. Huh? What up? Okay, we're going to have to do a great job of that, because we're going to have to learn how to take something like a lake and find the area of it with a grid. We did some of this stuff on Study Island. Make sure you stop your videos, huh? Make sure you stop them. Stop them. Do you practice problems? Start them again and watch them, all right? You ask me any questions, all right? Okay. Yo! All right, we're going to do 10.2, area of irregular figures. Now, the irregular figure can just be sets of blocks next to each other, like we're talking about right here. Okay, or it can be something along the lines of like a lake or something that you're measuring in a grid, something like that. And we're going to try and find area and perimeter of these things. All right, so going back up to the top, if we start with something like this figure right here, you would have to figure out the area of parts and add it together. Like, for example, I could cut it off right here and add this plus this, and we know how to do a rectangle and rectangle, and we could figure those out and just add them together. We might have to subtract some area for a lake right here if we needed to do that. Okay, there would have been another way to do this. You could have separated it like this and done about the same thing and added this plus this big long part. Either way would be okay. Whatever you think is the easiest math would be the way to go about something like that. All right, and of course adding perimeter, we would just be adding the same old thing. Side plus side plus side plus side plus side plus side. All the sides, all the way around, like you're having to put a fence around it. All right? Let's go down and see if we can find a couple problems. Here's one. We're going to find the perimeter and the area of this. So to find the perimeter, you can see, like they're doing right here, they start and they make sure they have all the sides. First, all the sides are filled in. That one has one, that one has one, that one has one, that one has one, that one has one. Sometimes you might need to find some sides, but they don't have that here. So you start by adding them all. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4. You add all that up and you get 16 feet. And remember, with perimeter, we do not have a label of feet squared or anything because we're only adding. All right? And then they go down and they try and find the area. Now, they could have divided it up this way. And as we talked about earlier, they also could have divided it up this way. All right? Either way would be the same. We'll do both of those problems right now. So you can see the way they did this first. I have a rectangle that's 2 by 4. Length times width lets me know that that's 8 feet squared. Right here I now have a 2 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. That's 4 feet squared. I add those two together, these two parts, and I end up with 12 feet squared. Remember, the label doesn't change when we add. Okay? This same problem could have been done the other way. If I would have divided it like this, I would now have a length of 4 and a width of 2. This would be 8 feet squared. And this would be 2 by 2, which is 4 feet squared. Same answer. 8 plus 4 is 12 feet squared. Okay? You can see that's what they did right here. They showed that example. Okay? Let's go down here. Let's do this one. First, they want to do perimeter. First thing we check is every side filled in? And it is not. We need to find something else. So let's look. We have this side right here. 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 And we have the up. But we do not have this right here. But we can figure it out. Why? Because we know this whole side right here is 13. And we know this much of it is 4. So, very similar to what we were doing in the last chapter, if I were to take the 13 and minus what we do know, which is 4, I would know what's left. So 13 minus 4 is 9. I know that this has to be 9 inches long. And now I can go through and do my perimeter, which is adding up all the ones I do know. 13 plus 7. And as you notice, I cross them out to make sure I don't forget one. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 9, plus 3. And I add all those together. 20, 28, plus 9 is 37, plus 3 is 40. 40 inches. I do not have a squared label because I was adding. Okay? To find the area of that figure, you can see they divided it up. Now you could have divided it up 2 ways. Here's one way to do it. They took 13 times 3, which is 39 inches squared. And then they took 4 times 4, which is 16 inches squared. You add that together, and you end up with 55 inches squared. So once I get my 2 sides, 39, 16, I add them. Once again, could have gone about this completely differently, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. I could have gone like this. And this way would be 4 by 7, which is 28. And this way, we already figured out, was 9, right down here. So it would be 9 by 3, which is 27. And 28 plus 27 is still 55. Same answer. 55 inches squared. Hopefully that makes sense to you. The other part is using a grid, because maybe it's a little irregular figure. When I'm using a grid and you're figuring out area, it's pretty easy. I just count the grid spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 regular grids. Remember, we did this in Study Island. When I have a half grid, it is not worth 1. It is not worth a half. It is worth 1.5 per diagonal. Because when I have a square, and I go up 1, I go diagonally, ooh, that hypotenuse is worth 1.5. Okay? So when I go diagonally, I have 1.5 here and 1.5 here. Remember, we try and put those 2 together and make groups of 3. And I have 1.5 here and 1.5 here, and those 2 together make groups of 3. So I had 20 all the way around, plus this 6 would give me a perimeter of 26. All right. For area, I can do some multiplying if I want to, if it's a nice square, but otherwise I can just count squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Remember when we did this last time? We counted full squares. Full squares. And I have 27 fulls, and now I try and put some halves together. Ooh, those 2 can go together, and that makes a 1. And those 2 together, and that makes another 1. So plus 2. And I end up with 29. Each one's worth a meter, so 29 meters squared for area. Okay? Questions? I hope that you'll come up and ask if you have any. All right? The hardest ones are these. Area of the really irregular ones, like a lake. Once again, count your full ones. And like as we talked about when we did this lesson in Study Island, you're going to have different answers as long as you're close. Try and count my mostly full squares for area. We don't do perimeter of lakes like this because that's really tough. But we try and do area. Let's try and find full squares. Make marks in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close enough. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll go 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now there's a couple that I counted in there that some people might not have counted. And there's a couple that some people might have counted and I didn't. But I had 24. Okay? Now, can I put some of them together to make another one? I'm going to put those together and make one more. And I'm going to put these two together and make one more. And then I'm going to put these two together and make one more. And maybe these two together and make one more. So I ended up with 24 plus those 4 makes 28 centimeters squared. But, because it is centimeters squared, but, you know, somebody might have come up with an answer of 26, and somebody might have come up with an answer of 30. And that's fine. You're getting your best estimate with squares because it's not full. It is a really irregular figure, so come up with the best answer that you can. All right? Now I want you to try those two problems. All right? Try and figure out the area and perimeter of these two, and then we'll go over it. All right, for perimeter, hopefully, for number 1, you add up all the numbers. 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 14 plus 7. And hopefully you remember to check and make sure they're all there, and they are all there for this problem. So I add these two together. Some of us like to take that technique and make nice whole numbers. There's 20. Okay, and there's 15. Oops. And here's 7. Do my next adding, 35, 42. And they're meters. So I was adding them when I did this. So it just stays meters. 42 meters for our perimeter. Now we'll do our area. Once again, I have to block it off into sections. And I'm going to do this one this time. Like that. I have 8 by 7, length times width, 56 meters squared. Right here I have 6 by 4, 24 meters squared. Add those two together, 56 plus 24. Carry my 1, looks like 80 meters squared. Why? Because I had multiplied to get these two before I added them. Okay? Hopefully you got that for an answer. Come over here. We'll figure out the area of the figure. We could do perimeter too, but we're just going to do area. Once again, I can count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Counting all the full squares. I have 22. Can I put halves together? Those two halves together make another one. Those two halves together make another one. 24. 24 centimeters squared. All right. Good luck on today's assignment. I know a lot of you have done it on Study Island already, so you should have a lot of success. Have a good night.